So I will call us to order at 6:07. And attendance, Elaine Breslow,
Present.
Mary Lou Lawrence,
Present.
Carolyn Coffey.
Here.
Catherine Harvey's here, Brooke Jewel,
Here.
Alice Viteri.
Here.
Sarah Pease.
Here.
So we're only missing Steve
Steve.
Brown, right?
And
Megan.
And Megan
Catherine.
Frenzy, right, okay. Minutes, did everybody look at the minutes?
I did.
Additions?
Motion to approve them in.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Staff
So-
introductions?
Ashley,
take it away.
Ashley
I
Nelson.
feel like you all know me, but I'll combine and say hi. So, hello, I'm Ashley. I have been here 4 years in October, which is wild. I know a lot of you have seen my growth. I started on circulation with Michael, who I learned a lot from, and then this past April, I was promoted to public services supervisor, where I now manage the circulation desk and also handle some of our marketing initiatives here.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any questions?
And you do an amazing job with your little video.
Oh, that's Allison.
Oh, that's Allison.
My
Sorry,
counterpart.
right.
People think we're twins, I don't know why. But yes,
It's great.
But no, so she makes all of our flyers.
the newsletter.
The newsletter.
So you do the newsletter.
Newsletter.
Wow, nice
So
job.
that way,
Really nice job.
Big job.
Wonderful.
It is a big job, it's a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
and we're trying to find ways to have other staff members assist with some of the marketing, because just the social media aspect of it is, you have to constantly put out content. And then all these other, in-house flyers and the board that we have that changes things, like, it's too much for one person. And in addition to managing the circulation desk, so,
Yeah.
but Ashley's done a really, really great job for us in that.
Well,
getting
my
it
favorite
good.
part about the circulation desk now is that people smile and say hello.
Thank you. Because that's something that I learned from Michael and that I really wanted to pass on to them. I always remind them that we are the first face that they see, and so if people have a bad experience at that desk, it reflects on everybody. So customer service is incredibly important to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's perfect. It shows.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate
How is
it.
Michael, by the way, just since you bring him up?
He's doing really well. He's still thriving in his role, so yeah.
Okay.
It all kind of worked out, and actually when I got promoted, he was like, I'm so happy for you. I was like, great, now you need to tell me all the things. But yeah, he's doing very well.
He's happy because he now lives in the same town that he works, so he was commuting from Norwood, right?
Yes.
Norwood, I think.
And
Yeah.
now his commute is
Yeah,
about 7 minutes.
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
he's,
So-
that's a big
That's
thing,
nice.
that's a.
That's a
helpful
life
work.
change,
Yeah, that's a
It
huge
is a life
quality
change.
life
So
change,
we
yeah.
miss him, but we're happy for him.
Yeah.
He certainly, was a great, mentor kind of in
Yeah.
a way, like of how to be a positive person and how to like treat, patrons as they come in, so Ashley's really taken on that role now, so it's been really great.
Thank you.
How,
Thank you.
how can we be helpful for you in your role, or is there anything that you're trying to grow in that we could be helpful towards?
The biggest feedback that I feel like I've heard from my staff is they just want more personal interaction with all of you to really remember your faces and form relationships with you. Obviously I have a bit of a bias because I feel like I know all of you pretty well, especially from being here for so long, but it's something that they've certainly been asking about, wanting to connect more one-on-one when you come in, maybe reintroducing yourself and just saying hi. It's hard to remember all the faces that pass by, it's for some more than others, so I would say, making that one-on-one connection would be important to them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll be going then.
So that was the last of the staff members. I don't know if we want to bring other guests or not, but I thought that was really helpful for everyone to get to.
Yes.
That was great.
A chance to meet everyone, so. If there's somebody else that you'd like to have us bring in, we're happy to do that. I think it's helpful.
Yeah. I think that was great. It was really useful just to know everybody's name. And
Yeah,
what
and
they
for
do.
that both ways.
Very
for
helpful,
them to
yeah.
say, some, Ashley, like she said, she knows most of you guys, but the newer people might not know, who you are.
Well, that's what's helpful was that flow chart with everyone's face and
Yeah.
their
Oh, yeah.
position.
Yeah.
But
That,
it was her, we had a lot of
yes.
changeover
we-
at the same time, and we got
Mhm.
McKenna and Michaela and
Yes,
Ashley and
and
Allison,
Allison.
and like the names are too alike, so I was
Right.
afraid to call anybody
I
anything.
say,
Same.
I
So-
still do that at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, next person we hire.
But
is
this
gonna
was,
have a
but it's
totally
helpful
different
because,
name.
Yeah.
because I do feel like now I have more confidence, you know.
Yeah. a
I
little
do check
more
name
face,
tags just
yeah.
in case sometimes.
But face with a name
Yeah.
is really helpful, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I could see if I can pull that out, I think Megan had made up that flow chart, maybe I can revise it.
Mm.
Based on that, so,
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great, especially if we're gonna welcome somebody new. That would be a good time.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, that's your
Roll that
very
out.
good point, yes. Okay, is
Yeah.
it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. A little bit shorter this month. I don't know if everyone had a chance to read it. But I will just kind of, run through things. If there's something particularly you want to talk about, please, let me know. I just put a little information about the, funding for the Institute of Museum and Library Sciences, which is, it's not going to immediately impact us, but I think in the long run, it could be a problem. And it does fund some important, areas of, library services, particularly Commonwealth Catalog, which allows everyone to have access to all materials around the state, that is paid for by those funds. And the other is, the purchasing of, overdrive books that are shared. So we buy our own, but then also the state, through that, that fund purchases ones that everyone can use, so. It's a little concerning, and they had to lay off all of the staff that works for that group as well. In addition, longer term, the town is financially pretty solid now, but if other funds are cut that go to the town, it may impact the money that they can give the library, so keeping an eye on it. A number of different library groups are advocating to legislature in trying to be sure that our funds are.
So it was just a letter that went out from several mayors.
Yes,
I just
yes,
saw
I
that
saw
this
that.
afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they didn't, I don't know if they asked our select, it was mayors and select board members, it seemed like, or maybe town managers. I don't know.
In like bigger towns.
It was,
maybe,
yeah, I don't
or-
know how they chose who's gonna sign on, but,
Mhm.
yeah, I did see that too, and I thought that was helpful, at least, just to try to continue to advocate, and I don't know if, I should have asked Ashley, she was gonna put on, the, OCLN had made up a little, just a very small link to a survey that people can say how libraries have impacted their life, and then that will be all, sent, collaborated and sent to, the legislators, so.
So
um,
what's what do we? I know there's a lot of moving parts, because you know that there could be other things besides the library, but do we have a range of what we think is at risk in terms of dollars on an annualized basis?
I don't think we're able to come up with that
Does it
yet.
relate to our state aid?
Yes.
Yes,
So our
But,
state aid
yeah,
is $23,000 a year.
yeah,
So,
but
The
I
bubble
don't
could be
think, but
23,
I
okay.
don't think that's I don't think it's fully funded by that
gotcha.
smaller,
It's as much as
agency.
$23,000 a year. But if we took,
Yes, but then also, like I was talking about, like it could impact our appropriated
Sure.
funding from the town, there's other things that it could be, but we're in pretty good space right now because, we do have our endowment, we do have other sources of funding, but things like grants, a bunch of LSTA grants have been canceled.
Mhm.
We didn't have any at the time, but
I
those
saw that
are-
18 in February.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's some big bucks for some people. The worst thing would be a building grant, if you
Building
started a building project based on giving that grant and then it's canceled, that could be really impactful. But I think going forward, that will mean that there's less things that we can apply for. And we've had some very substantial grants from those groups, that have helped us. Gail did a lot on, serving people with disabilities, and we got all this different equipment that helps people with hearing issues and sight issues and, you know, kinds of things that are really helpful, that, you know, could be impacted. So, but we don't know. It's really very, fluid, as you said.
So personally, I'm not a big fan of wait and see. I would rather have a plan in place, a crisis plan in place if something does go wrong, so that we know what the actions we're gonna take quickly. But again, I'll defer to the rest of the group here, but I think it's better to have a plan.
Yeah.
And with the 20, and assuming up to $23,000 lost a year, what will we do to make the gap? And, you know, I think, you know, whether it's, you know, a strategy that we do in conjunction with the Friends or with the, you
Right,
know,
right.
with our partners, but I feel like we should be thinking about what could happen.
Right.
'Cause it'll be, if it does continue to happen, there is gonna be a free for all, people looking for funds, so I think we
That's
should
true.
probably have a strategy
That's
in
true.
place.
I mean, like I said, we're in a pretty solid financial situation. The town funds the vast majority of where we spend our money. The Friends fund all of our programming needs. And the endowment covers the part that the town doesn't fund for our materials purchases. So as far as staying certified and meeting all of those benchmarks we have to meet, we've already got the funds in place. If the town did have to, you know, cut what they were giving us, then that would be another issue where we'd have to look at how do we make up the difference. I know, I think Duxbury just tried to do an override and that failed. Norwell is having some issues as well. They're looking for an override coming up. So it's certainly, we're better off than some of the other towns around, which is a good place to be. But you're right, we should prepare for the worst, I guess. And
So, yeah, the state aid to date, for the last
it's
10
been a
plus
little while,
years,
yeah.
we've used that for the things that we want to do that the town won't support, like when we wanted to buy new furniture, all the new furniture that we got was used with the state aid funds. And we used that to pay for design services to help us figure out what we wanted to do. And we've been saving it now for the pavilion project.
So
So it's-
operationally it won't impact it, but
Yes,
it will impact.
it's more of
Exactly.
it's more of the things that we want to do that like capital budget
Sort
says.
of
Right.
off.
Like,
But
for
like
example, the children's
the
carpeting.
carpeting, yeah.
We're looking at
Okay.
using those funds for that.
Exactly.
So it
So
wouldn't
it's
mean cutting
more.
staff. or-
It wouldn't
Yeah.
mean cutting staff. I mean, you know,
Not
right now.
Not yet.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
alright.
it depending on if it was long-term, I think that it would be a problem because we've been trying to save for a rainy day essentially. But if we spent down those funds, then we would have to make some.
We're actually saving for sunny days.
For sunny days, yes. And state aid can be used for almost anything, including staff salaries, if it ever came to that, depending on how much, you know, we had in there, that is an option. And in the past, I remember years ago when Jackie was director, we did use them sometimes to pay for materials
We
because they
did,
didn't
although
fund.
they're really, I think that's supposed to be.
You
So it
can,
can be
but
saved
it's
year
not
to
in the
year.
spirit.
We can
you're
build
right.
it up year to
We have
year.
been building it up.
Yes,
State aid.
so it's now, I
It's
just.
now $112,000.
112, almost 113,000.
And they can't take that away from us.
No,
Oh, we're all set.
so. we're
Well,
It's-
it's earmarked for some big projects.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
if the carpet is $35,000, that's, you know.
And the
big chunk of
pavilion
it.
will use
And the
some.
pavilion will use some of that as well, so that's why we're saving it, is
Mhm.
for these kinds of things, so.
Okay.
Because the town, there's some things that the town just won't or can't fund that we have these monies for, so. But you're accurate, though, it should be something that we are aware of and plan for. It could happen if it continues over, you know, a extended period of time, that we could run into problems, so. But for now, it's a watch and wait and advocate, so if anyone wants to fill out the survey, it literally is about
So
3
would that
questions.
survey be something appropriate to put on the website?
We did, I think,
Okay.
well, I asked Ashley to do it, I don't know if she's gotten to it
Okay.
yet, but it just came in the last couple days, OCLA created it, and it's very, very quick, and it's just, something, that will be, shared with people that can make a difference. So it's helpful if anybody has time to do that, so. Anyway, moving on, I think everyone has a chance to check out the Tiny Art Show. That was so successful. And we're gonna be trying to do something maybe on an annual basis, a similar idea. So, that was really great. Story Walk is coming back, although now, I'll let you talk about, pavilion, but for now, we're gonna have it back here on the sidewalk. And then the last thing I want to talk about for outreach was the farmer's market is gonna be changing, and we've been asked to participate in managing it.
Managing the farmers market?
The community services group, it's going to be mostly led by Safe Harbor and Recreation are gonna be managing this farmer's market, and they're gonna change it a bit. They're gonna change the hours to a little bit later and make it more of a, I don't know if you go, but rec department has concerts on the commons, if they're gonna have it be continue while the concert's going and have more food trucks and have it try to be more of a family night out, evening out, still with some vendors, but more of an outing kind of than just a go and buy your.
Less farmer's market.
Yes, farmer's market, I guess. I don't know a lot of the details yet, and it's gonna be shortened, it's probably not gonna start until I think later in June and earlier in the fall.
Did
So-
the community, did they want to give this up?
The people who were running it, I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
why, but they
They
wanted to
retired.
give it up. Yes,
Well, honest,
yes, they
really.
retired. I
It's a
guess
lot of
that's-
work and they've been doing it for decades and,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
they're
agreed.
done.
Absolutely, yes, so, I think, Cassandra and the planning office is helping manage it as well, but, Recreation has a number of, staff members in the summer that can help with the setup and the managing and that kind of thing, so our input is gonna be fairly small. I think we're doing some of the signage, we're putting out cones, I think, do you remember what else Jen was saying? So, but will be, it may be called in at times to help out, so. We've had a table there.
Is it still gonna be Thursdays?
I think so,
Mhm.
I think so, yeah, just a little bit, the hours will be a little bit later, so that people can come, get some food, bring a lawn chair, listen to the music, that kind of thing, yeah, so. I will keep you posted when I know more about it, so. On the finance level, we've already talked about the state aid, we've got our second allotment, it's in the bank, so, that's good to have. We did get a $10,000 check for the pavilion.
Nice, Nina. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
Can we reach out and say thank you? But I mean,
Yeah.
should we just wait till an official letter goes out to her, or?
I
Well,
think- well, the CLT
the
is-
CLT has
yeah.
said, has
Yeah,
sent
they-
an official thank you note,
Okay.
but you are welcome to say
Okay.
something to her on Monday if she's there.
I don't,
Yeah.
Or whenever,
Yeah.
lean
Um,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
we'll-
really
yeah.
exciting, yeah.
Very
I
generous.
think it wouldn't, yeah,
Nice.
anyone who wants to.
Yeah, it's
read
great.
it. It's amazing, yeah. Allison and I went to the CPC meeting, last month and requested funds for these kind of archival materials. She's been going through, all of the drawers and cabinets, and we have some really old stuff that some of it's just sort of laid on top of each other, some of it's very fading, falling apart, crumbling, that sort of thing, and so, we wanna really store them better. And then the plan is, once she gets it all organized and finds out exactly what's in there, we're gonna do like an open house on a regular basis, maybe quarterly, of here's some of the things in our historical room. And share, because there's
That's a nice
some
idea.
really kind of cool things that I didn't even know that we had, that she's found by going through everything, and so we thought we could, maybe make it a theme thing, like, here's high school, we have all the yearbooks, and here's some of the old pictures from high schools, or, the common, or whatever it is.
And I'm sure Jackie Rafferty would, not Jackie Rafferty, Jackie Dormitzer would love to get. involved.
Exactly, yeah, I'm sure she would, so, That's to come, and they did approve it, they were very supportive of it, it down, of course, has to go to town meeting, but I think that we will be able to get the funding for that, so we're excited about that. And then now we've already spent the appropriated materials monies, we're moving on to the endowment money. And we're in pretty good shape for meeting our materials expenditure by the end of the year, I think we're about right on target, so. That's going great. The last, what other things, I have the, hydration station. Saga continues, but now I found out that, the town will pay for it to have it installed. So we had earmarked money to do it ourselves because now. But now that the town bylaw is that you cannot sell individual plastic water bottles, the town feels like they should be covering the cost to put in a hydration station, so. That won't be till the new fiscal year because they have to, budget for it, but, it'll save us about $6,000 or $7,000, so. I can wait till July.
Will it be in the community room?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna take the place
Place of the
of
water
the,
fountain.
yeah, and I'm trying to get them, they wanna just do a single bubbler. And then, so still have a bubbler, but also then the way to fill up your water bottles. I'd really love to have two, we currently have two levels. For someone in a wheelchair or young people. Nick says that anybody in the way they're gonna put it, anyone in a wheelchair can reach it. That means that it'll be kind of low, so we'll see, if they're paying for it, I may not have much pull as to what it's gonna look like, but I will try to get it.
And the water will be filtered?
The water will be filtered, in the other ones in the schools, facilities changes the filters. And we don't have to do any.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it will be great, I mean, most of the kids that come in here now have
They're
their
all
water
water
bottles, yeah, so, I think they'll appreciate it, so. But won't be for a few more months, so. The smart boards are in, you should check them out if you want to, they're amazing. And we've already had, patrons who've reserved the rooms already started using them, literally the first day we put them in, they started.
And
using
they
them.
didn't need anybody helping
I
them?
know, yeah, well, the staff.
They were like,
we-
"You have them?"
I know, we didn't really know, they did come in, we got some training, I missed it, so I have to get some training on it, but, we didn't really know how to use them, but they all did. So, maybe we should have, asked them, but, they're really pretty amazing what they can do, it's very cool, I'm glad we finally got that done. We finally have hot water in the children's room bathroom. That is,
Yay.
I think one of my crowning accomplishment. It has been literally 15, maybe 20 years we've been asking for hot water in the children's room bathroom. It's really, to my mind, a help.
That was the first time I've read about it.
Yeah,
really?
I don't remember ever
And-
knowing about
and-
that.
If I had, I would have suggested calling the Board of Health.
Well,
and
that's,
maybe
yeah,
other people
Sharon
to
actually talked to
show up.
Mary Goodwin,
Yeah.
and Mary said, if you need me to, I can, drop a dime on you, and the facilities, in their defense, they did look at it numerous times to try to figure out what was wrong. There were a few glitches, because then they did get the hot water going, and then it was scalding.
Oh, gosh.
So they had to come back and put in a regulator, and then I think the middle bathroom, the patron bathrooms, had hot water coming out of both faucets, scalding. I think now
It took a
they're
while for
all
everything to
going, and they
set.
definitely cleared the wall, but, it was a saga, but we finally got it done, and that's really, to me, I always felt so bad, because, there's a diaper changing
Yeah.
station in there, you can't have
Mhm.
cold water, so, all good. And then the only last thing I wanna talk about, is, I think, Megan, I just was talking to Megan, she said she talked to you, Alex, about, she's working to put together a, battle of the boards, it's gonna be a cornhole competition. It was May 5th, it's now switched, I think, May 15th, it's gonna be up in the West Wing. And then I think whoever wins that is supposed to take on the planning board, at a later time. So I don't know a lot about it yet, it's still like a work in progress, but,
I had a ridiculous interaction with Megan about this, and apparently Elder Affairs thinks their cornhole champions. I don't know what kind of standing and cornhole is going on over all those years.
They have their own difference.
Yeah, they have their own sport, you're right, exactly.
Start practicing, guys.
Exactly.
They are
Next
apparently
meeting
talking
on my-
trash and saying they can beat the library.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
we'll see.
So they're
You're gonna have to do it off town property if I participate, because my cornhole is definitely clear by how many beers I have. Or at least
I hear you.
my impression of how good my cornhole is.
So I will
Throw
share
down.
more information as it comes in, but, it's supposed to be just something fun to get all the different boards together. And I think that was a select board, initiative that they wanted to try to, do that kind of thing, so. Right, it's, I think, a Thursday night, I think it's the 15th.
The
I
15th is a
believe it's a
Thursday, yeah.
night, so
Yeah.
if anyone, I don't know times, I don't really know any more than that yet, but, just pencil it in on your calendar. Other than that, I don't have anything. I will let Carolyn talk about, her news, and if anyone else has other things, they can do that as well.
Thank you.
Questions?
Not for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very thorough, as always. Well, so, we need to do the bills. Let's do the bills first, yeah. Any questions on the bills? Everybody take a look?
Yeah, just the
Like-
technology questions, or the technology things, I didn't know.
What is this?
What are we doing?
Thing?
Ocker.
Ocker is
Yeah.
$6,000.
Smart board.
Oh, those are smart boards, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the other
And
one is,
library
one is
market or
that's the
something.
calendar,
That's
the
gotcha.
calendar software, and the other one is the museum software.
Gotcha.
Yeah, OCLC is
Gotcha.
the museum, so, and they all just came in at the same time, and so. And I don't know what the $4.79 was from.
It was for, so you know the knee scan?
Oh,
So the cord was too short and so it kept disconnecting and then like the kids couldn't scan their books out. So we were like, oh, we just need like 2 extra feet in a cord. So we ordered a longer. cord.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
$4.
Yeah.
The simplest of solutions.
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
All right, Elaine Breslow,
Aye.
Mary Lou Lawrence.
Aye.
Carolyn Coffey.
Aye.
Catherine Harvey, aye. Brooke Jewel.
Aye.
Alex Viteri.
Aye.
And Sarah Peace.
Aye.
Great, those are paid. For me,
Don't we have to sign?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
they're
we
just
need to
in
sign.
the.
Oh, I have it. All right, I forgot. You give it to me. Sign. My only thing was I wanted to ask you, is there any update on the collection development policy? Because we talked a little bit about that last month.
Yes, the staff started putting something together. I haven't had a chance to look it over. I was just on vacation, so I'm hoping to bring something to the next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so, I think that it's collection development, including, weeding items or how to discard items, which is important now for, requests for reconsiderations, when people want to have something removed, so we need to have a kind of a policy of how we're gonna decide what we're gonna do, so, hopefully next meeting, we'll get that, and everyone can look it over and hopefully.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was my only question. Carolyn, do you want to report on pavilion for CLT?
We're gonna have a pavilion. We received 3 bids today, hot off the presses,
Oh, that's
3 hours ago or whatever,
Oh, my
5
goodness.
hours ago. We got 3 bids, we have to take the lowest one. It's
Uh-huh.
with a company called Dan Dell out of Hanson, and, but I guess Cohasset has not worked with them before, so Michelle has to do, reference checks on them, but they were really interested, and, there was another bidder from Braintree that has been doing a lot of projects in Situate and everything, and they kept saying, you know, what do we have to do to beat them? And she's like, you gotta come in with a low number. So, they did, I don't know what the other 2 bids are or who they came from, one was the company in Braintree. but I'll see if I can find
Oh,
out
that's great
just
news.
so that we know, but, you know, and so until she does the background checks and everything, it's not for public consumption.
But have you seen it?
But I'll say it on a
Yeah.
recorded meeting.
For a while.
Carolyn, it was the lowest bid, but have you seen their work? Have you had?
No, she's,
recommendations?
but that's what she's gonna do. She
Okay.
has to go and check, you know,
Okay.
their work and
If they
talk
show
to
up.
towns and stuff like that. And the other, Bronwyn and I are gonna sit down with her on Monday and go through the bid and make sure that everything that we asked for, because there were so many questions and,
Yeah.
you know, tweaks of the plan and everything, along the way, we wanna make sure that everything that was requested is actually covered.
So
we don't
is
have any
this
negative
everything? I
surprises.
mean, barring you checking it twice.
I don't even know,
Uh-huh.
because we did all these add
Right.
alternates, and, you know, so I have to go and look, but I think so, given the number, it's $594,000. Which is crazy, we thought it was gonna be 400, but of course it's, you know, years later too,
But
but,
that's still far better than
um,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, which was like 8 something.
Nine hundred,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it was crazy, so, what I don't know is like how much planting and that sort of thing. But the good
Right.
news is, you know, our base level of funding before we get into, you know, state aid or extra CLT gift money and stuff like that is $578,000, with the fundraising that CLT did, the CPC monies and the South Shore Music Circuits grant. Although 25,000 of that won't come in until next year, so we'll have to front it because it was a 3-year grant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I had reached out to them about this year's grant, and she said we don't have to apply again, that they'll just send it
Okay.
when it's the time.
And
Which
I-
should be fairly soon.
yes, exactly. I'm sure that will come in a way that we can use it now, but we
Yeah.
will have to
Yeah.
front next year's payment.
I think we have already spent a portion of the first 25,000
the
for
plan,
some of the
yeah.
plans of
Engineering and
the
that sort of thing.
stormwater thing and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's not a full 75, but.
No, the 75, the 75 was in addition to the,
Right, they gave us
they
an initial
gave
grant,
original, an
25,
initial grant.
and
And
then
they
we
give us
got,
an addition
yes,
of 25.
correct.
So
That's
there's
right.
19,800
We got a
left.
2-year grant. So that must have been 3 years ago, because
Now
now
it's way more than that.
4 years ago.
It was, well, yeah, because we started planning this in 2020.
How many years are we into the current grant? 2?
We
This
have-
is our second.
This will
This
be
is
our
our second.
second year.
Okay, so then it was 3 years ago, because they gave us a 2-year grant, and so we got 12 and a half, and then 12 and a half,
Yeah.
and then last year
I
we
think
got
the
There's
last
19,
25.
there's
Yeah.
19,800 left of that.
Right, and
Oh,
then
we
we
got
got
25.
25, yeah.
And then there's
Right.
3 more 25s.
Okay, I'll have to check, because I thought we might have spent most of the first part, but I'll
You
look.
might be right, because I think that we
On what?
spent, we
I
did, we
know
spent,
the marketing was some of it with the postcards.
We
and
spent
things
some
like
of
that,
it,
and
I
we spent
think
some
on that first, that kickoff, the
Yeah.
campaign,
Uh-huh.
when we did the corner
Yeah.
stop, I think some of that came out of that, because it was all we had at
Yeah,
the beginning.
and we did the
Yeah.
postcards and we had to pay
Yeah.
the
For
survey.
stormwater.
I was just
Right,
gonna
we
say the
did,
engineering.
yeah,
right,
That was like
Cavanaro.
5 or 6
Okay.
thousand.
We,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
whatever it
look.
was.
Yeah, I mean, all
Barb
I
had
know is from
19,800.
our, what
Yeah.
we have, that we have access to, I think it is only that 19,000 of all the monies that we've gotten so far from the music circus.
Okay.
So we're due another 50 for
Right,
this year and next year.
this year and next year, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's what's that 7.
Has the
Well,
outside
that's
wall
like-
been taken care of?
I'm sorry?
The outside wall, they were gonna be,
The building?
rebuild it or repair the wall?
The
or-
brick
Oh,
wall.
the
No,
bricks,
not
the
yet.
brick-
Oh,
brick
no,
remodeling,
I don't think that'll be for a while,
Uh-uh.
because they're just getting capital budget money for the front this year. So it won't be for a while, but they said that they can work around whether it's done or not, they can
Work around.
work around it. That's what. I have to defer to
Hope for the
them,
best.
I have no idea
All
about
we can
brickwork.
Yeah.
But I will see if I can find out what the balance of what we have.
That'd be great.
is. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, that's fantastic.
So,
Really good.
exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Great news.
People have asked.
Yes, and that's.
Yeah,
So it's
no, I
gonna be
can't
good
wait to
finally
send out an
yeah,
email to all
yeah,
the donors,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for working so hard on it.
It's been a
Huge
while.
job.
Happy
been a
it's
while.
finally
something happy to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, well, it was just funny that Rebecca had just, when I emailed you, she had just inquired and then minutes later, we had an answer, which is fortuitous. Okay, so that brings us to the Friends. I missed the Friends meeting this month. Beth said, the only thing that she flagged to mention was that they are thinking about, bringing back the, staff appreciation lunch that we used to do in the spring. So I don't know, Angela, did you go to the
I
meeting?
did go
You
to the
did.
meeting, yeah. Yeah, they mentioned that I'm trying to think now.
Yeah. I don't know if
read the
that's
minutes,
this, like, it's probably not this year, cause we used to do it sort of in June. I
So,
don't know.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
she
that's
was
the thing,
thinking,
she
yeah.
did mention doing it this
Oh, she
year,
does
it's
wanna do it this year.
close, but. She said it was like a potluck and everybody just kind of brings in something, then they can hang out with like staff too and everything. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it
is,
sounds
Yeah,
it
that's
is
nice.
always
really
a
nice, it was
a
always a
thing
really
that we
nice
did,
thing to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It's all
Staff and volunteers, yeah.
Staff and
Yeah,
volunteers,
we,
yeah.
the Friends used to, you know, each one of us would bring, you know, a tray of sandwiches or whatever,
Yeah,
and just, you know.
it was really nice.
Oh,
People
that
sounds
people
nice.
really
Yeah.
appreciated
And it was a good
yeah.
way to unload some Friends merchandise.
Some mugs.
Yes, that's true, yes, that is true. That
I
was,
think the other things that you talked about, so, Meg Wheeler is now the treasurer, and so she's made some changes with, how they're paying the bills. She's looking into getting staff members a credit card that they can use to buy things on Amazon that would go directly. She would get the bills from that, and that would streamline having to write out a check every time someone orders something. The other thing she was talking about was changing the, fiscal year to really better match up with our fiscal year, because now theirs starts October 1st, which for Sharon especially, that's a real problem because most of her expenditures are in the summer, which is the end of the Friends fiscal year, so she's having to hold back money because she does, like, if she does the Nona's truck for the kickoff for the summer reading, she has no idea how many people are gonna come, so what the cost is gonna be for that, so it would be far better to have the alignment more with what we do here at the library, so Meg is looking into doing that. I think that
Yeah.
was what she
Yeah,
was talking
we're
about.
going all digital and.
Oh, she doesn't like
Yeah, she
paper.
doesn't wanna see a piece of paper, which is
She's bringing the
fantastic.
friends
Yeah.
into the.
Yeah,
21st
and
century, so.
hopefully if she can get the credit card for everyone, it'll kind of streamline all the invoices, it'll be,
Yeah, so they're doing pretty good,
yeah.
yeah, I think they're a new member.
yes,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, she
Oh,
seems
she-
great, I can't remember her name, but she's a new member.
Yeah, so again, if you know anybody who wants to get involved.
So I
send
did
them-
give them.
Send them in the
a-
direction of the
I-
Friends.
I
'cause they
did put
definitely-
together a list because the Friends used to really volunteer a lot more at the library programming. And, there's some programs that, you know, the staff can run it, but it would be really nice to have a couple extra pair of hands to help set up chairs or tables, or especially in the summer reading, there's such big crowds and just to manage things. And so we put together, the staff listed some things that they could maybe help with, that, if they wanted to volunteer, it would be great. And then they can see where their funds are going or how many people are coming to the programs and just,
It's a recruitment
You know,
tool too.
and
because if
yeah,
the
so they're
friends are
talking
there.
about not just necessarily having people on the board coming, but it could be anyone who donates to the Friends is considered a friend. And so it could be someone who only has, you know, a couple hours a month that wants to just come and help with Tinker Thursdays or, you know.
You know what would be nice if they all had name tags and it said friend of the Cohasset.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Because
idea.
that
Yeah.
gives a sense of
Yeah.
community
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pride
Yeah.
in what they're doing.
Right, and then starts conversations and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good way to recruit more people, so.
And we used to do that too, we used to, it was, I don't know if it was a thing that fell off during COVID, but we used to try to have somebody at,
Absolutely, yeah, and it was.
Every event.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and especially things that, you know, like Sunday author talks, I know that the Friends were very involved in helping with
Yeah.
that. And, you know, it's, the programs, some of the programs are really popular, especially the children's programs, and it'd be just, you know, Sharon can handle it, but, you know, when you have 150 people, just managing that, it was just really helpful to have a few other people come and, you know, direct traffic kind of, or that kind of thing. So, hopefully they will be able to, step up and.
Yeah, if anybody's watching on YouTube, check our website, go to the Friends and volunteer your time. We'll be very happy to have you.
Great, perfect.
So,
Okay.
all right, good.
Anything else?
Anybody have anything else? In the way of new business?
Yeah, I know. That's what we're talking about. We're gonna have to,
Scare people.
we're gonna have to get new
Yeah.
shirts.
I'll move to adjourn.
All right.
Anyone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Thank
Does
you,
everybody?
everyone.
So I'm looking at the